Hey guys, we're back to Coin Knowledge. So we're going to be taking a look at Heroes of Mavia here. What exactly is going on with this chart? What does this mean? Should you be buying right now? Or is this a good time to be taking some profits here if you bought in recently? We're also going to be taking a look at what does this mean for other gaming projects, especially low caps here in the gaming sector. Now, as always, if you guys do get value out of the content here today, if you guys could subscribe to the channel and like the video as well, your support means a lot. So obviously, if you take a look at Heroes of Mavia, what is happening? Why is this thing pulling a 6x in a week here? Well, one, they do have a major update, kind of an overhaul to their ecosystem. I mean, they're introducing new attributes like this game link as well to their ecosystem as well, bringing in new titles. But again, this was put out on the beginning of March here, and we started seeing this pump literally over the last couple days now, literally up again from the lows here of about 10 cents. It got all the way up to, 73 cents here, pulling a 6 to 7x if you were buying in at the lows here, a couple days ago. Now, right off the bat, I am going to let you guys know my opinion here, obviously not financial advice. Would I be buying right now? Definitely not, in my opinion. Now, could this thing continue ripping to a dollar? It's on the table, but in my opinion, I do think that after such an aggressive move, I personally don't think it's smart or makes any sense to be buying right now. The time to buy was before the pump at about 10 cents here, especially if you had conviction in the project. Now, when we look at Heroes of Mavia over the 1 month, this has been beaten down. We've talked about Heroes of Mavia in the past. You guys know that this is one that I've been a fan of for years now at this point because the team, fundamentally has been building. They still have a good ecosystem. They still have a good product. And when we look here, what kind of started the downtrend, obviously in the beginning of December, post-election, we saw a lot of altcoins getting a huge rally up, especially gaming altcoins are starting to get a lot of that attention. But we did see some Mavia FUD being delisted from Binance, I believe, perps or futures here. And then it did started going down from $2. And then we started to see the steep decline here, which was starting to shake out a lot of people. And again, last time we saw these levels was, January of this year. So, about 2 months ago now at this point. And, it kind of just went down. I believe seed prices were 20 to 25 cents. I think 20 cents here. So, in my opinion, I didn't think that we would see 10 cents. But again, when you look at a project of, quality like Heroes of Mavia, that is still again, overall a quality project. They haven't, I get the comments here recently, especially during the downtrends and the harsh price action to the downside on Mavia. It's a rug pull. We hear it all the time when a project goes down in price. It's rugging. The team's dead. They've abandoned too much selling pressure. Well, it's just not the truth. Granted, yes, there is some dilution, but as far as rugging or it's abandoned, it isn't. Obviously they put out, constant updates. They're still working on the project as well. They are staying engaged on their socials. You can still play the game. Obviously, they're introducing more to their ecosystem, but it's just gaming hasn't been running. The overall market's been completely terrible. Now, I will say I do personally think that there is a little bit of price manipulation going on here for sure. We're looking at Mavia. This was like $2 million in trading volume, and now it is closing in on 100 million. It went over 100 million in trading volume. Quite insane. Obviously, we are now seeing Heroes of Mavia getting pushed by a lot of major influencers in the space, but in my opinion, again, we'll see what happens here. We'll do an update video here, as time progresses here on Heroes of Mavia, because it is still a project that, full disclosure, I do hold Mavia. I do hold almost every project that we'll be talking about in today's video. So, and again, I do think strongly that Mavia could come down, and the fact that it is such an aggressive move. If you were buying in at 10 cents, don't be afraid, and don't think that you're going to miss any kind of pump. If you were buying here a couple days ago, take some profits off the table. At least take your initials out, because in my opinion, with gaming not running, the market's still kind of in a unstable, uncertain place. I think after a 6x in this market right now, you'd be a fool not to take profits. But either way, what does that mean for Mavia? What does that mean for other low cap gaming projects? Now, we're going to be primarily focusing on a few, not all, obviously you can't put them all in one video, but a few low caps here in the gaming sector, trying to stay at like 50 million market cap or below. Stuff that is being hammered, stuff that maybe gets comments on some videos saying that it's a rug, team's dead, stuff like Mavia that I'm not saying are going to go ahead and do a 5x or anything like Mavia did, but just as no one could predicted this move, with projects that are hammered right now, especially in the gaming space. I mean, we were looking at projects obviously down massively from narrative leaders all the way down to mid caps to low caps and such. I mean, we look at Mavia here from a market cap of about 5 million all the way up to almost 40 million. It's completely on the table. Now, one caveat to the 50 million or below that I wanted to mention here, almost as an honorable mention, is Echelon Prime. Echelon Prime is a quality project here, especially if you're looking for more of a lower mid cap, kind of a lower cap, in the gaming space that isn't as much so like a chain or infrastructure play, even though they are building their own chain with B3, their Prime chain as well. But this is obviously more of an infrastructure play in a way where it has its multiple titles. They have their trading card game, they have their AI colony game. They just introduced their third-person shooter game, and I do think with all that in their own Prime chain, I do think Echelon Prime could potentially do quite well. Now, is it going to go ahead and do a 5x out of nowhere like Mavia? I don't think it will, in my opinion, just because obviously it's not as much of a low cap. It takes a lot less money to move something at 5 million versus something at 150 million in market cap. But when we're looking at overvalued or undervalued, overlooked projects in the space, I think Prime gearing up for that prompt token launch for the Wayfinder is definitely going to get a lot of momentum that I wanted to, again, just throw in here as a caveat, almost as an honorable mention. Now, we're going to be going in order just from like market cap from highest to lowest. Other than that, no particular order, but again, comment down below your opinion on all these different projects. Also, let me know if you were able to get in on Heroes of Mavia here a couple days ago. And if so, please let me know if you're taking profit or not. But either way, when we look at projects here that could potentially be in that Mavia-like boat where they're just getting completely hammered down right now, we can look at something like Carrot. Now, Carrot, I believe, actually did just go through a unlock here, I believe, today. So, yep, it just went through an unlock. So there could be potentially some selling pressure here after the unlock for the next couple days. When we look at Carrot, again, these guys are building. They're coming out with their studio chain here in a little bit. They're coming to Xbox, as we just covered in a recent video, and they had put out on their Twitter. So that's huge. Literally, it's going to be off the grid and My Pet Hooligan on consoles as far as Web3 gaming goes. So we look at the project. It's easy to look at something like Carrot, which has been down for quite a while now. I mean, but when you look back at December, when we're looking at the Mavia prices, back at December, I mean, Carrot got up to 70 cents here right after the election. So it showed a lot of strength, and obviously now it is coming close to about 9x down from that range. But when we look at, product and updates, Carrot, My Pet Hooligan, they're still shipping these products. Literally, they could have held on to that information or delayed their launch for the Xbox launch until more of a bullish climate, maybe more of a gaming run, but they're still just launching updates. I mean, they still put out constant updates on both their My Pet Hooligan Twitter and their Carrot Coin Twitter as well. They are separate, but the same project. So as far as those beat down gaming coins, kind of those low caps, Carrot is still one, again, full disclosure, that I hold in my portfolio, but one that I'm still remain bullish on with all those updates as well. And let me know if you want to see more individual videos on any of these projects as well, covering more recent updates, and I'll be happy to do so. So Carrot is one. Seed World is another one that we have talked about in the past, but when we look at Seed World, I mean, literally at a $3 million market cap. This thing launched at around a $7 million market cap here, and it did get up quite quickly here. Phil, show me. And it got up to like a $20 million market cap, which again, from a 7 million to a 20 million is a pretty decent move here. And then it has just been, again, with other gaming projects, hammered. When we go to the 1 month, I mean, down 44%. But when we look at the quality of Seed World, now, I've been titling it and saying it, in my opinion, that this could potentially be the next sandbox, the Decentraland of this cycle. So obviously we know how high those projects went. Obviously there was a metaverse kind of craze, metaverse narrative run last cycle that, it is very speculative if we're going to see anything like that this cycle for metaverse kind of like projects. But when we look at that narrative here, we look at Seed World. Obviously this is from Seedify. So personally, I have full faith on the Seedify team and what they do. They've been here for a long time. They know how to get stuff done, in my opinion. But when we look at it from a quality standpoint as well, when we look at metaverse-like or kind of user-generated content, kind of a Roblox kind of style game in Web3. I do think Seed World is a sleeper, especially at this valuation. I think Seed World is another one that is just going to get, it's kind of being oversold in my opinion. Now there is still some unlocks and dilution here as well you need to pay attention to. But when we look at Seed World, I do think this is another one that we could potentially see get a relief rally. Maybe again, I'm not saying any of these are going to be as aggressive as Heroes of Mavia because I do think it's quite obvious that there could be some influencer or some kind of manipulation going on there. But when we look at Seed World, especially if you're looking at the Avalanche ecosystem, which is heating up rapidly here as well, as Avalanche has filed for their ETF as well, and amongst a few other big catalysts going on in the Avalanche ecosystem. I think Avalanche as well, when we look at Seed World, they're in the Avalanche ecosystem. We saw Arbitrum as well just come out with the Arbitrum Play, kind of focusing on gaming on Arbitrum as well. So they're in good ecosystems, and I think at the evaluation that Seed World's at in this narrative, it is a top pick for me, and especially getting oversold, in my opinion. Now, next one, kind of playing off the Avalanche ecosystem as well, is Playable Games. Now, Playable continues to build. Not only do they continue to build, they continue to go out to, literally events. I think they were at some kind of Comic-Con here recently. They go to continuous events. They're going out there spreading, their project's awareness. They're building out the different games. They have like 30 games in the pipeline now at this point. This is a team that literally has been working bear, bull, then back in this kind of bearish climate as well. They don't go away. They're constantly posting. They're constantly building. They're interactive with their community as well. So this is another one that I'd be betting on. And again, I do hold a position, just full disclosure, but that is only because I'm bullish on it. If I was bearish on it, I wouldn't be holding it personally, but I couldn't be anything but bullish on Playable Games, in my opinion. Now, last one is OTK. Now, this is, again, more on the Solana ecosystem. Now, we look at OTK. One thing that Solana literally just reminded everyone about is that the Solana Seekers are in testing, shipping summer 2025. So as we saw with the first Solana phone, I believe the Saga, we saw the huge big narrative there as well. Anything that was tied to the Saga phone was kind of, showing that in appreciated price action. Now, Octo Gaming, I believe, is on the Solana phone, but is also going to be natively on the Seeker phone as well. So again, when we look at that, this could be another catalyst as well. And if you are expecting potentially for gaming to run towards the end of the year, as we saw last cycle, the combination there could work well for Octo Gaming also. But they also just put out, again, constant updates, kind of like Playable Games as well. But this is more of the, again, in the Solana ecosystem. Now, when we look at all these projects, the key here is that they're completely hammered now, since, the local December highs after the election. I mean, literally look at OTK coming from about 4.5 cents down to half a cent here pretty much. I mean, just getting hammered here. Granted, a lot of these are getting kind of, mini relief bounces here as well. So it is something you do want to make note of, what's kind of reacting, what is just continuously going to the downside. And just like Mavia here playing such an aggressive move, it wouldn't surprise me, even though, again, I'm not saying that it could happen at all. You can't plan for those kind of things. That's why you just have to have conviction and DCA slowly into, whatever projects that you find yourself, again, having that conviction in, whether it's a low cap, mid cap, high cap. You just want to DCA slowly at this time in the market. If you want to add to your positions or if you want to lower your average buy prices, this is how you do it. Stuff like Heroes of Mavia, if you had bought at 40 cents, then, you could have slowly DCA'd at these recent levels and then caught the big pump that way. But stuff to me that is oversold, especially when we look at low to micro caps in the gaming space, is stuff like OTK, Playable, Seed World, Carrot, and Echelon Prime, I think, is just undervalued right now at this point, especially. So either way, those are just a couple low caps, micro caps in the gaming space that I think are kind of heavily oversold, especially when we look at stuff like what is happening recently with Heroes of Mavia. Again, it wouldn't surprise me to see some of these projects get, major bounces like Heroes of Mavia. Now, when that could be, nobody knows, just like Heroes of Mavia, nobody knows. And could it not happen? For sure, that could not happen either. Maybe they don't pump at all. Maybe they only pump in a gaming run. Maybe stuff like at Playable only pumps with Avalanche. Who knows? But this is why you have to have the conviction into whatever projects you're DCAing into. But as always, guys, that's just a quick update at what I'm looking at, especially when we have to I just wanted to address the question on Heroes of Mavia. I've been getting that a lot on other comments of other videos. Should I be buying now? And I've answered as many as I could just to say, in my honest opinion, no, the time was to buy was before the pump. Don't go chasing such an insane green candle. Let this come back down because one, there is dilution. Two, gaming's not running. And three, there's definitely, in my opinion, something going on here. Pretty heavy manipulation here potentially going on. So it would not shock me in the slightest to see Mavia come back down. Now, will it come back down to 10 cents? Maybe it never goes back there till the bear market, or maybe it does go back there without a problem. Nobody knows, but what I would say is, again, if you were buying at 10 or 11 cents, this is a great time to take profits. Don't get greedy, especially in the market that we're in right now. We're not in a full-blown bull market or altcoin season or a gaming run. I would not be shying away from taking profits on something like Heroes of Mavia, but that is my opinion. As always, let me know in the comments below what you guys are doing. What are you looking at in the markets right now? And hopefully you guys got value out of the video. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. If you guys did get value out of it somehow, if you guys could like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.